Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, we're going to talk about something pretty intense. And honestly, I've been putting off making this video for a while because, well, it's heavy stuff. But I keep getting messages asking about this topic, so I think it's time we dive in. Actually, before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We talk about psychological manipulation tactics every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of it. Okay, so, gaslighting. Probably one of the most dangerous manipulation tactics out there. And the scary part, most people don't even realize when it's happening to them. Wait, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever been in a situation where you were absolutely certain something happened one way, but someone else convinced you that you were wrong? That your memory was playing tricks on you? And the crazy part? You actually started to believe them? Yeah, so that's basically what gaslighting is. It's when someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality, your own memories, your own sanity. Look, I need to be straight with you. Some of this information is going to be uncomfortable. It might make you question relationships you thought were safe. It might reveal manipulation that's happening to you right now. So if you're not ready for that kind of truth, honestly, this video isn't for you. And that's totally fine. No judgment. Not everyone is in a place where they can handle this. But if you want to understand one of the most dangerous psychological tactics that even the smartest people fall victim to, keep watching. Because once you can spot gaslighting, you become immune to its power. At least, that's been my experience. I mean, knowledge is power, right? Oh wait, I should probably explain where the term gaslighting actually comes from first. Can we pull up that clip from the movie? No? We don't have permission to use it? Okay, I'll just explain it then. So, the term gaslighting comes from this old movie, I think from the 1940s, called Gaslight. In it, this husband deliberately tries to make his wife think she's going insane so he can steal from her. One of the ways he does this is by messing with the gas lights in their house, making them dim. But then, when she mentions it, he tells her the lights aren't dimming at all, and she's just imagining things. Pretty messed up, right? But here's what most people don't get about gaslighting. It's not just some rare thing that happens in obviously toxic relationships or old movies. It's everywhere. I actually worked with this woman once. Brilliant executive, Harvard MBA, absolutely crushing it in her career. But in her personal life, she was a completely different person. Constantly apologizing, second-guessing herself, anxious about messing up again. Her partner had spent years, systematically making her question her own reality. And if someone that accomplished and intelligent could fall victim to this, trust me, anyone can. You know what makes gaslighting so dangerous? It's that the most effective manipulators don't seem like manipulators at all. They're the ones who make you think you're crazy for even suspecting manipulation in the first place. And it always happens in the exact same 3 stages. Wait, where are my notes? I had them right here. Hold on, sorry about that. Let's get into the first stage. Stage 1, denial. They erase your reality. Okay, so the first stage of gaslighting is so subtle, most people completely miss it. And that's kind of the point. This is the denial stage, where they start systematically denying your experiences, memories, and perceptions. This isn't just disagreement. This is about erasing your reality and replacing it with doubt. The reality erasure playbook. They'll say things like, "That never happened. I never said that. You're making things up again. That's not how it went. You're remembering it wrong. That's not what you said yesterday. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. No one else has a problem with this. You're the one who did that, not me. I was trying to help you, and this is how you thank me. You know what's crazy? This happened to me, and I didn't even realize it for months. I had this friend who would constantly tell me, 'I already told you about that last week,' when I knew she hadn't, or 'You promised you'd do that,' when I was positive I hadn't. After a while, I was literally taking notes of our conversations because I thought I was losing my mind. That's how effective this is. Oh, and let me add, sorry I forgot to mention this earlier. It's especially powerful when they mix in some truth with the lies. Like they'll accurately recall some parts of a conversation, but completely distort others. Makes it way harder to sort out what's real. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this so far, please hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm show this video to more people who might need it. Pro tip: trust your gut. If you keep thinking, "I could have sworn that happened differently," start documenting things. Your memory isn't perfect, but consistent patterns of disagreement about basic facts are a major red flag. So that's stage 1. Wait, am I going too fast? I tend to get really excited about this stuff because it's so important. Wait, someone's asking if this only happens in romantic relationships. Great question. No, absolutely not. This happens in all kinds of relationships. Friends, family, workplace, even political discourse. I'll get more into that later. Stage 2. Deflection. They redirect the blame onto you. Alright? So once they've planted those seeds of doubt through denial, they move to stage 2. Deflection. This is where they avoid taking any responsibility while somehow turning everything around on you. And suddenly, you're the one apologizing. I mean, how many times have you brought up a legitimate concern to someone, and somehow by the end of the conversation, you're apologizing to them? That's deflection, the blame-shifting tactics. They'll say things like, "I can't believe you're attacking me like this. After everything I've done for you. Why are you obsessing over this when you did something completely unrelated? Why are you trying to start a fight? Why can't you just let things go? So now I'm the worst person in the world. Nothing I ever do is good enough for you." Wait, let me pause and tell you something that happened just last week. I was watching this happen to my colleague during this big project we were on. Whenever he'd bring up legitimate concerns about missed deadlines to our team leader, she'd somehow twist things until he was apologizing for bringing it up. She'd say things like, "Why are you so negative all the time? The team's morale is suffering because of your attitude." And he'd walk away feeling like he was the problem. The worst part, okay, this is kind of ironic, but I tried to point out what was happening, and she started doing the exact same thing to me. She was literally gaslighting me about gaslighting. That's how automatic this behavior is for some people. Sorry about that. My neighbor's dog is always barking when I'm trying to record these videos. Pro tip: Pay attention to when conversations consistently end with you apologizing for bringing up legitimate concerns. In healthy interactions, people can discuss problems without all this deflection. Where was I? Oh right, the third stage. I need to make sure you're still with me, because this next stage is the most serious one. Stage 3, discrediting. They destroy your credibility. The final stage is the most devastating. Discrediting. This is where they actively work to destroy your credibility. Not just with them, but with everyone around you. This is about isolating you completely. Sorry. My throat's getting a bit dry. Let me grab some water real quick. Okay, much better. So yeah, this discrediting stage is absolutely brutal. The isolation tactics. They make subtle jabs about your mental state in front of others, like, she's been so emotional lately. Don't mind him. He gets confused easily. They tell others you've been not yourself, struggling, or difficult lately. They act concerned. I'm worried about her mental health. He's been really unstable. They rewrite your history. She's always been like this. He's had these issues for years. The truly scary part? Eventually, other people start seeing you through the gaslighter's eyes, which just reinforces all your self-doubt. I've literally seen... No, actually, I've experienced this personally in my own family. Wow, I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I think it's important. Growing up, everything one particular family member said was undermined with a look, a sigh, or a comment like, well, you know how she gets. Even when we went to therapy, the therapist sometimes missed what was happening because the gaslighting was so complete. Sorry about that. Got a bit personal. But I think it helps to know that I'm not just speaking theoretically here. I've been there. Pro tip: if you notice people suddenly treating you differently based on what someone else has told them about your mental state, that's third-party gaslighting. Find validation from people who aren't connected to the gaslighter. Anyway, let me go on to the next part. I think you're really going to find this interesting. Sorry, let me turn that off. I thought I put it on silent. The secret language of gaslighters. Alright, let me show you something that blew my mind when I first discovered it. Gaslighters use specific phrases, almost like a secret code, that bypass your rational thinking and go straight for your sense of reality. Once you know these phrases, you'll spot gaslighting instantly. Oh wait, I need to pull up the list. Let me find it. Here we go. The manipulation language patterns. 1. Reality-denying phrases. That's not what happened. You're remembering it wrong. I never said that. You're making things up. 2. Emotion invalidating phrases. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You're being dramatic. Can't you take a joke? 3. Sanity questioning phrases. You're acting crazy. You need help. You don't know what you're talking about. No rational person would think that. 4. Blame-shifting phrases. If you wouldn't make me so angry, you brought this on yourself. You're the one with the problem. You made me do this. 5. False compassion. Phrases. I'm saying this because I care. I'm just trying to help you. I'm the only one who understands you. No one else would put up with this. I know we're running a little long, but this stuff is just too important to rush through. I mean, recognizing these phrases could literally save your mental health. The pattern is always the same. They undermine your reality, invalidate your reactions, question your sanity, shift the blame, then position themselves as either the hero or the victim. It's like a formula. I was watching this political interview the other day. God, I think it was Thursday. No, Wednesday. And I counted 7 of these phrases in under 2 minutes. This isn't just happening in relationships. It's systematic. Oh wow, we're already 20 minutes in. Sorry, I didn't mean for this to be so long, but there's just so much important information to cover. Pro tip: create your personal alert system for these phrases. When you hear them, don't immediately doubt yourself. Recognize that you might be experiencing manipulation. The 3 types of gaslighters you'll encounter. So why do people do this? I mean, what kind of person gaslights others? Through my research and work with clients, I've identified 3 distinct types of gaslighters. Type 1, the conscious strategist. These people knowingly use gaslighting as a control tactic. They're often high in dark triad traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and see relationships as power games to be won. They gaslight deliberately and systematically. They know exactly what they're doing. These are the most dangerous ones because they're doing it on purpose. There's actually intention behind the harm. Type 2, the defensive gaslighter. These people gaslight mainly to protect their fragile self-image. They absolutely cannot tolerate being wrong or criticized. So they deny, deflect, and distort reality rather than face uncomfortable truths about themselves. Their gaslighting comes from insecurity, not calculated malice. I actually think this second type is more common, at least in my experience. In fact, should I share this? Yeah, I think it's helpful. I had a boss like this once. Couldn't admit a mistake to save his life. If you pointed out an error in his work, he'd somehow convince you that he'd meant to do it that way, or that you'd misunderstood the instructions, or that it was actually your mistake. It was exhausting. Wait, what was the third type? Oh, right, type 3, the generational perpetuator. Sorry, got sidetracked there. The third type is what I call the generational perpetuator. These individuals learned gaslighting from their own experiences. They were often gaslit as children and internalized these communication patterns, repeating them without fully realizing what they're doing. Their gaslighting is almost unconscious. They're doing what was done to them. Knowing which type you're dealing with helps determine if the relationship can be saved. The first type almost never changes. The second might change with serious therapy and self-awareness. The third has the best chance of change if they can recognize and acknowledge the pattern. Pro tip: remember that gaslighting says more about the manipulator's weaknesses than about your perception. Strong, secure people don't need to manipulate others' reality. Sorry about that noise. There's construction going on next door. It's been driving me crazy all week. How gaslighting literally changes your brain. The effects of gaslighting go way beyond just making you doubt yourself. Extended exposure actually changes your brain functioning. I'm not exaggerating here. We can see these changes on brain scans. What happens to your brain under gaslighting? Your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, shows reduced activity after prolonged gaslighting, making it harder to trust your own judgment. Your amygdala, your brain's fear center, becomes hyperactive, creating constant anxiety and hypervigilance. You develop cognitive dissonance fatigue from the constant conflict between your perceptions and the gaslighter's reality, creating mental exhaustion. You form trauma bonds, powerful attachments to the very person harming you through intermittent reinforcement. This is why gaslighting victims show symptoms similar to PTSD. It's not just manipulation. It's psychological trauma that physically affects your brain. I had this client who couldn't even decide what to order at a restaurant after years of gaslighting. Her confidence in her own perceptions was so completely undermined that literally every choice became a source of anxiety. Actually, no, it wasn't just anxiety. It was terror. She was terrified of making the wrong choice because her partner had conditioned her to believe that her judgment was fatally flawed. Oh man, we're already 25 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten to the most important part yet. Let me try to speed up a bit. Oh, wait. Before I go on, if you're finding this helpful, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel, and it lets me know you want more content like this. Okay, now for the part I know you've been waiting for. How to protect yourself from gaslighting. These psychological defense strategies create an immunity to reality distortion. I've been developing and refining these techniques for years, and they work. I've seen them work with my clients, with my friends, even in my own life. The reality protection system. 1. Documentation defense. Keep a private, secure record of events, conversations, and incidents. Date everything and be specific about details. Save texts, emails, and communications. Consider recording conversations if legally allowed where you live. This one's huge. I can't tell you how many times documentation has saved people from gaslighting. Can we throw up that graphic I made? The one with the 5 protection strategies? No? Okay, I'll just keep going then. 2. Reality anchor network. Maintain connections with people outside the gaslighter's influence. Regularly check your perceptions with trusted others. Remember that isolation makes you more vulnerable. Create a reality check circle of people you can consult. Isolation is a gaslighter's best friend, so staying connected to others is critical. 3. Internal validation practice. Develop a daily practice of affirming your perceptions and feelings. Use grounding techniques when you feel confused about reality. Practice statements like, "My feelings are valid, and I trust my perception." Remember that confusion and self-doubt are signs to increase vigilance. This one's actually my favorite. When you can validate yourself, you become so much less vulnerable to other people's manipulation. 4. Pattern recognition training. Study those gaslighting phrases until you can spot them instantly. Create a mental alert system that activates when gaslighting happens. Notice when conversations follow the denial, deflection, discrediting pattern. View attempts to make you doubt yourself as data points, not truth. 5. Strategic disengagement. Learn gray rocking, becoming uninteresting to manipulators by giving flat, non-reactive responses. Use pattern interrupts like, "We'll have to disagree on what happened." Reduce jade responses, justify, argue, defend, explain, which feed the cycle. Set clear boundaries about what conversations you'll engage in. Remember that brilliant executive I mentioned? Emma? Once she implemented these strategies, something incredible happened. The gaslighting completely lost its power over her. not because her partner stopped trying, but because she had created psychological immunity to the manipulation. I mean, don't get me wrong, the relationship still ended, but she was able to leave with her sanity intact, which is a huge win in these situations. Pro tip: the most powerful defense isn't winning arguments with gaslighters. It's becoming emotionally unreactive to their tactics while maintaining your own reality. Oh, hey buddy. Sorry everyone. My cat always wants attention when I'm filming. Okay, now I need to tell you something most people don't talk about. Gaslighting isn't just happening in relationships. It's used systematically by institutions, media, corporations, and political systems. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Where was I going with this? Oh right, institutional gaslighting. Once you understand the mechanism of gaslighting, you start seeing it everywhere. Companies gaslighting employees about family culture while exploiting their labor. Media gaslighting audiences by presenting selective information as complete. Systems gaslighting marginalized groups by denying their lived experiences. Institutions gaslighting whistleblowers to discredit their revelations. This is why understanding gaslighting is so powerful. It's not just about protecting yourself in relationships. It's about maintaining your autonomy of thought in a world full of reality distortion. You know what's crazy? I wasn't planning to get into all this today, but it's so interconnected that it's hard not to mention. In my 15 years studying manipulation tactics, I've come to believe that the ability to recognize gaslighting is one of the most important skills a person can develop in the modern world. It's the key to maintaining your psychological freedom. Oh wow, we're over 30 minutes now. I promised myself I'd keep this video under 20 minutes, but I guess that didn't happen. There's just so much to say on this topic. If you're recognizing some gaslighting patterns in your own life right now, you're not alone. The comments section is going to fill up with people sharing similar experiences once they realize what they've been subjected to. I can already hear some of you saying, but what if I'm overreacting? What if I'm just being too sensitive? That's the gaslighting talking. That's exactly how it works. It makes you doubt your own perceptions. Listen to me. Gaslighters count on your silence, your self-doubt, and your unwillingness to trust yourself. Breaking that cycle starts with recognizing that your reality matters and your perceptions have value. The most dangerous form of gaslighting is the kind you never identify. Now that you can see it, it loses its power over you. Wow, we covered a lot today. I honestly thought this would be a shorter video, but I just couldn't leave out important information. If this video has made you rethink some of your relationships or interactions, hit that subscribe button and notification bell right now. We explore these hidden psychological dynamics every single day, and I don't want you to miss anything that could protect you. Because in a world of manipulation, your greatest protection is knowledge. Study this information. Share it with someone who needs it. And remember, your reality is worth defending. That's it for today, but this is just the beginning. If you want to dive deeper into psychological manipulation tactics and how to defend against them, check out my other videos. The link to my most popular one is in the description below. Oh, and let me know in the comments what topic you want me to cover next. Stay safe out there. Your mind is the most valuable thing you have. Don't let anyone mess with it.